Make sure you subscribe on all platforms and leave that 5-star review. Let's get it. Talk about it.
You are now tuned in to Above the Rim. Hoops Talk for the street.
Family, what's good? Welcome back to another edition of Above the Rim. Hoops Talk for the streets. You already know how we do, family. Brought to you as always, it's your host, Justin, aka Just Blaze. Family, you know the drill. To get in contact with me, you can always hit me up and follow me on Twitter at JustBlaze_513, on IG at JustBlaze513, on Facebook and YouTube. Search Above the Rim Podcast. Also email the show as well, Above the Rim NBA Podcast at gmail.com. Tap in and leave the family a voicemail. The line is always open, 908-718-1592. Best way to support the show is by copying your merch. Link is in my bio. Very easy to find. Make sure you leave your boy a review on iTunes, Spotify. If you rock with the show on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, hit the like button, share, all of that good stuff. I appreciate it. Solo preview, playoff preview episode right here, family. This one right here, I'm going over Phoenix Suns versus the Denver Nuggets semifinal matchup. I can't wait for this series right here, family. I'll tell you right now, this will be a battle of the Titans right here. The number 1 seed versus the number 4 seed, which would likely be the number 1 seed if they had this roster all year. The Blog Boys MVP versus the Streets MVP series right here, family. Both teams handled their business quickly in the first round, eliminating their first round opponents in 5 games. 2 of the highest rated offenses still in the playoffs. Season series was tied 2-2. KD wasn't a member of the Suns in the first 2 meetings that the Suns and the Nuggets had this season. And for the last 2 matchups that these two have had, Joker and the rest of the starters were held out of the game, basically due to injury management, or maybe they was ducking a little bit. Who knows? Whatever the case may be. But the newly formed trio of KD, Book, and CP3 versus the reacclimated trio of the Joker, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. Murray, Porter Jr. haven't been plugged in at the same time, basically, in the playoffs since the bubble year in 2020. The Suns have only lost 1 game with their newly formed trio of KD, CP3, and Devin Booker. I'm really looking forward to this matchup, as I'm sure you guys are not surprised about it. In their first round series against the Clippers, I was looking at the numbers. The 3-point shooting disparity is something that I'm looking at and I'm watching for in this series, right? In the first round series against the Clippers, the Suns took 27% of their shots from 3-point range. That's the lowest rate in the playoffs by a wide margin of all the teams in the playoffs. In that, they still shot 40% from 3 in the series, but they're not taking a lot of threes. They're obviously one of the best mid-range shooting teams in the league. They have one of the 3 best mid-range shooters that we've ever seen. All shot better than 50% from mid-range in the first round, which is to be expected. But they didn't get to the rim as much as I would like, and I'm sure as much as they would like. Even though they did play against a tough defense, they still have to be a little bit more aggressive coming up in this next series. On the flip side of that, the Denver Nuggets, they aren't a high-volume 3-point shooting team either. They basically took 36% of their shots from 3-point range in their 5-game series. It was the 4th lowest out of all the teams in the playoffs. So that's something that I'm watching for in this series. Individually, in this second-round matchup between the Nuggets and Suns, here's a couple of things that I'm looking for. Number 1, the battle of Nikola Jokic versus DeAndre Ayton. Ayton is 4-0 against Jokic in the postseason, but that was 2 years ago when the Suns swept the Nuggets 2 years ago. The Nuggets didn't have their full lineup. Obviously, Jamal Murray wasn't there, and a couple of their other pieces wasn't there. But I'm looking at DeAndre Ayton. Everybody knows I've been very critical of him because I want him to be better. But can Ayton be aggressive enough to put Joker in foul trouble in this series? No mid-ranges, just get to the rack, DeAndre Ayton. Get your big man on in this series. Drop steps, baby hooks, turnarounds, putbacks, deep seals in the paint, boxing out. I need to see all of that from DeAndre Ayton. Can you step up to the plate like we know you can? Time will tell, my brother. I'm really looking to see the big man matchup in this particular series. How much havoc will Jamal Murray cause in the lane in this series? He's been one of the best playoff performers thus far, hitting big shots after big shots. His two-man game with Joker has been looking very crisp, and especially in the first round. Can Jamal Murray become a two-way player in this series? Because he's going to have his hands full as well, guarding either Chris Paul or guarding Devin Booker. Timely buckets in this series. Who's going to make more of them? The Denver Nuggets or the Phoenix Suns? A lot of these games, I think, will come down to elite offensive production, which I think it will be. But who's going to make more of those timely buckets down the stretch? That's really going to propel your team. Timely runs, timely baskets, big stops. Who's going to make those kind of things? Another thing I'm watching for, two-way Devin Booker. Will Devin Booker continue to be the hottest player in the NBA in the playoffs? Obviously, we know what Jimmy Butler's doing over there in the East. But Devin Booker's been hot this entire playoffs from start to finish. He was the best player in that Suns-Clippers series. I assume he will be the best player or will be neck and neck the best player in this series with Nikola Jokic. But we'll see. Can he continue that going forward? He's leading the playoffs in steals, so he's been a two-way player this entire playoffs. We're going to see if Book can continue that hot streak, averaging over 36 or 37 a game. I forgot, something like that. Been playing exceptional basketball, been very aggressive in round one, and I look for him to continue that in round two. Looking at DeAndre Ayton's rebounding, his playing time, how many minutes will he play without getting into foul trouble? Hopefully the Joker won't get him into foul trouble. Another thing I'm looking at is limiting Michael Porter Jr.'s threes. He has a tendency to hit big-time corner threes in crucial games and big moments of the games for the Denver Nuggets. He's always there parked out in the corner. He hits some big shots. He can also drive as well. He's one of the better scorers in the league. That's something that they're not used to guarding, but we'll see how the Suns handle Michael Porter Jr. in the corner. Bench production from both teams. A lot has been talked about how the Phoenix Suns don't have a good bench. They're giving the Denver Nuggets a lot of credit for having such a deep bench. But where's the deepness in their bench? Who do they have on their bench that's big time enough that you can say their bench is so much better than the Suns? Bruce Brown? Jeff Green? Braun? Reggie Jackson? Come on now. These are not top flight bench production players. They're solid pieces, great pieces, and they fit well in their team. But I don't know about an over-the-top phenomenal bench that they keep saying the Denver Nuggets have. So to me, I think the bench production will be more so on the even side, or maybe the Denver Nuggets may be slightly higher due to Bruce Brown, but the Phoenix Suns are no slouch when it comes to bench production. In the first round series, Monty Williams didn't even play the bench a lot. T. Ross didn't get any minutes. TJ Warren barely got minutes. Shamet doesn't need to play anymore. D. Lee didn't get many minutes. So they have some pieces off the bench that could get some buckets if they get the adequate amount of playing time. So we'll see how Monty adjusts with the rotations this time around. CP3 in this series. This series to me should be a CP3 masterclass type of series. Pick and roll after pick and roll after pick and roll. We know the formula already, but Chris Paul taking advantage of Jokic, especially when they use drop coverage, when they want to bring him back into the paint, step into that mid-range. You already know the formula. We've been there. We've done that. We've seen this time and time again. Chris Paul, don't forget your bread and butter when it comes to this series because they're going to need it 100%. So I'm looking for Chris Paul to be a little bit aggressive as well. I assume Chris Paul will be guarding either KCP or Bruce Brown in this series. We're going to see who he's guarding or who he switches out on. I think in this series, the Suns need KD's defense more than his offense in this particular series. I think he's going to have to be huge on the glass as well as weak side rim protection. The Nuggets are going to be going to the rim, and the Suns need to be prepared to deal with that. Ayton, we know, is not a shot blocker. He barely averages a block a game. He struggles to get a damn block. So he's going to have his hands full guarding Jokic. So the Suns are going to need KD to really be that weak side protection and to really clean up the glass also as well. The key to winning this series, most likely for the Suns, in my opinion, is going to be to make the Joker work on every single possession, offensively and defensively. You got to tire the Joker out. We know he can play extended minutes. He can play long minutes. He can be effective throughout the entire game. So it's going to be big for Ayton to really make him work in the pick and rolls. And when he picks and pops or picks and roll, Ayton has to be aggressive with the basketball. No more of those mid-ranges. You could do a couple of those, but you might have to take it to the rack a little bit and try to get a couple of fouls on Joker and see if maybe they can sub him out, get DeAndre Jordan there, or maybe they could go small with Jeff Green at the center. So Ayton obviously is the key to the series. We know that. We're hoping he's going to stay engaged and make life difficult for the Joker, because we know the Joker is going to bring it this series. So it's going to be a tough series regardless. Two top-fledged, top-flight teams in the NBA. It's going to be a battle. Predictions for this series, I'm going to be honest. I just don't think the Nuggets have enough to beat the Suns in this series. And I just think the Suns are the better team in this particular series. I think they have the better top flight talent. Going to be a battle between Booker and Murray, Ayton and Jokic, Aaron Gordon and KD, CP3 and probably KCP or whoever he's guarding. It's going to be a battle. But I'm going to go Suns in 6, family. I'm going to go Suns in 6 in this particular series. I think it's going to be a war. I think it's going to be a battle. I think maybe whoever wins this series will probably head to the NBA Finals, because I think they would get past their next matchup on whoever will be. We're going to see about that. Suns and Nuggets, keep on the lookout for that. It's going to be an excellent, excellent series, family. So make sure you're paying attention into all of those things. I appreciate you joining me again for another episode. Keep on the lookout for my other previews, and we out.